for waiting already. Okay, well, hey guys. Yes, I'm late. Had some stuff to take care of right before the stream here, so I know I'm late. Sorry about that. There's some last minute stuff. I'm fine. So let's see. You guys have been talking already too. That's cool. We already have four people in here, so might actually get to the stuff pretty quickly then. I'm fine. I was streaming and had a power outage right in the. Oh man, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that, Leto. I've experienced that on my stream too when the power goes out like that. We already have five people early on. Thanks, guys, for coming early. By the way, sure is rare when I can catch a stream from the beginning. Well, I thank you for being here, Leto. You be streaming. Yeah, I was streaming RE2 remake earlier. Um, well, let me sub so I can get notifications if you're ever on. Okay. Mike's late. Yeah, I already acknowledged that. Redfield's a fun watch. Okay, so we're caught up on the conversation there. All right, so that looks like there's some more there. Yeah. So, well, guys, thank you for joining me right from the start here. So, glad to see you guys here. Well, probably since there's like five of us in here, I might just get started right at the 5 minute mark instead of waiting full 10. Woody's here. Action Toys channel. Sorry about the stream ending. I had a power outage that lasted an hour. Late and gray. uh, all cool red. Um, laugh it loud. I went. I want to. I want to when that happens. All right. Hey, Woody. Yeah. Now. Yeah. And of course, as always, guys, I do appreciate all any likes and shares you guys can do to help get more people in here. Um, that also helps the algorithm and all that. So, um, let's see now. One more. That Woody Meal. I was early in the stream. Yeah, you were early, and I saw you and Leto on just. I was getting some last minute stuff done before coming on, so that's why I was a little late. So, um, hey, toys. Hey, Leto. Hey, Woody. Alrighty then. So, as I said, with us having a few more people in here than usual right at the beginning, I guess I'll start at like 5 minute mark. So what's on tap for tonight? Well, obviously there's a couple stories from last night that that I was not able to get to because the articles ran a little long. So those two will be right off the bat. Those are a couple anime stories. One's in regards to what you might say is a 2021 movie preview. And then the other one was a bit of a box office report on Demon Slayer. Apparently, it was very successful over in Japan. We'll take a look at that. There was another anime story that um, grabbed my attention. Also, also, oh yeah, keep your hands off Aizukin. That one, and then also, let's see. I get set up here to be exact. Those. Okay. Let's see now. So yeah. that, let's see. There were a couple comic stories. One regarding the future state, the other Wonder Woman 84, and then of course, as if any of you are currently watching any wrestling right now, you probably heard this past Saturday, John Huber, better known to most fans as either Luke Harper from his time in the WWE as part of the Wyatt family, or most recently Brody Lee in AEW. He passed away from a lung condition. We'll look a little bit more deeper into that a little later on. So that's all that's on tap for tonight. Let's see, we're coming up on 6 minutes here. Let's see, let's get caught up on the conversation here. Hey, Woody, the early boys, laugh out loud. I watched the first episode of Yasahime, and it was very nostalgic and cute. Yeah, real shame on the brotherly. So, anyways, so without no further ado, then let's get started on the news items since we have a few people in here. Now, let's see. So this is going to be the first story we're going to look at here. I got 6 stories for you guys tonight, 2 from last night, and then 4 that I kind of added on tonight. So 7 anime movies to look forward to in 2021. It will eventually be safe again to go to the movies in 2021. And these anime films you'll want to see on the big screen if possible. 2020 was not the best year for movies, with theaters closing down and generally posing health risk, health risk even when open. Fortunately, things are looking to return to normal in 2021, and there should be a ton of anime films ready for your enjoyment. Fans of animation have a ton of original films and updates to classic anime to look forward to in the months in the new year. 2021's anime movie lineup promises some high-flying adventures, tons of magical girls, Olympic-level feats of sports, and a grand finale decades in the making. Do 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 do. Earwig and the Witch. This one looks like it's coming out of Studio Ghibli studio. Earwig and the Witch is a bit of a cheat since it premieres on Japanese TV on December 30th. So tomorrow, basically. However, the English release will be one of the first anime releases of 2021. Earwig and the Witch is the newest film from Studio. I was right. Look at that. I guessed right. It looked like it was from Studio Ghibli because it is from Studio Ghibli. Look at that. I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 Studio Ghibli movies, and yet I can recognize them when I see it when I see the artwork. Uh, Sasha Banks wants to star in a live action Sailor Moon. That's a that's a no for me, dog. Oh yeah, you're talking about the little headliner there. Um, let's see. Arriving 6 years after their last feature, when Marnie was there, Goro Miyazaki's all CG animated film looks like an enchanting magical story that pushes Ghibli into a new style of animation unlike anything it's made before. The CG animation looks incredible, managing to capture the enchanting magic of Ghibli's 2D films. if this is the future of Studio Ghibli, um, the future seems bright. However, there is still the possibility this might be the second to last film for the studio. Ghibli's only other film in production currently is How to Do Your How to Do Your Live, which looks to be Hayao Miyazaki's final film. Hmm. I wonder, just out of curiosity, I take a quick peek because I know Hayato Miyazaki's been around for quite a while, so let's see how old he is. Some is anime. Okay, studio. Okay, yeah, Hayao Miyazaki, I guess, is actually 1941. So he's actually coming up on his 80th birthday. Wow, I'll be let's see, January 5th. So that's a little under a week away. That's 6 days away. Wow. So I can see why then they'd be saying I can see why they'd be saying that would be his final film. That could be his final film, or those could be his final films. Um, let's see. You called it. Well, laugh out loud. Oh no, he's old as F. Yeah. Um. Oh, he's not that old. He's 79. Laugh out loud. He can still make them movies. I mean, look at Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Well, he turns 80. I guess this Tuesday. So yeah, this Tuesday. He turns 80 this Tuesday. The same day, of course, as the Georgia runoffs. But anyways, so back to the article here. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 thrice upon a time. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 thrice upon a time is the final entry in the Evangelion saga. Originally slated for release back in June 2020, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 looks set to complete the rebuild alternate universe, or perhaps sequel, to the original classic series. The film was heavily delayed due to Hideaki Anno's duties directing Shin Godzilla Shin Godzilla and COVID-19. But at long last, fans will have a conclusion for this sprawling saga. With Neon Genesis Evangelion being one of the biggest anime titles of all time, this film's release will be an event. It will, as Evangelion always does, cause a great deal of controversy. However, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 will also offer catharsis for fans waiting since 2007 to see how Rebuild of Evangelion would wrap up. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time is set to release this January in Japan. 2007. Wow, 13 years. It took them 13 years to finish it, huh? Uh, if you guys are saying anything, it is, I guess, nothing new there. Oh, yeah, actually, Leto did have something new to say. The left 3.0 plus 1, the left 3.0 plus 1.0 equals 5.0 in Italian. Yeah, liberal logic, right? Anyways, okay, so back to the article here. Sailor Moon Eternal, the movie. Sailor Moon is one of the most beloved anime franchises of all time. When Sailor Moon Crystal ended after adapting the third arc of the manga, fans waited for the series to return and adapt the final two arcs, Sailor Moon Eternal. Oh, wait, the final two arcs. Sailor Moon Eternal is a two-part cinematic event set to adapt the fourth arc of the Sailor Moon manga, stunningly animated. What makes this announced project particularly exciting is how the fourth arc of the original anime series, Sailor Moon Super S, was poorly received by fans at the time for deviating so drastically from the original manga by Naoki Takuchi. Also adding to the hype is the presence of Kazuko Tadano, the character designer of Sailor Moon R, the movie, who has returned to redesign the Sailor Guardians. Sailor Moon Eternal Part 1 is set for release in January 2021, while Sailor Moon Eternal Part 2 is set for release in February 2021. No American release date has been announced. Yeah, I know some of the controversy surrounding Supers, Sailor Moon Supers, did some of it actually was on the American side because of the dubbing. When Deke dubbed it, they really they really bowdlerized it because what they did was the two like quote unquote older sailor scouts, Sailor Neptune and Uranus, in the manga they were depicted as being basically lesbians and involved with each other. And when Deke dubbed it, instead of being lesbian lovers, they were cousins. I'm sure any of you who probably grew up watching that Sailor Moon. We have 7 people. Good. Thank you. Batgoat's here too. Hey, we missed you last night, Batgoat. Let's see. I'd watch that Eternal movie though. Let's see. Hey, dude. Sorry I'm late. Was making dinner and listening to Yong Yong Yi to play Fast and Furious. Really funny. Hey, Leto. Hey, Toys. Hey, Batgoat. Fast and Furious. A game. Naoki is married to Yoshihiro Tagashi, the creator of Yu Yu Yeah, I think I did remember hearing something about that a while back. Solid. That's true, solid. Can you imagine being their kids? Best mom and dad ever. Can you imagine if Yusuke and Serena or Usagi became a married couple? Can you imagine what their kids would be like? Uh, hey, Batgoat. Yeah, really bad game. Hey, solid. That sounds fun. The worst game. Worst games make great content to watch. Laugh out loud. Uh, Anyways, as we continue on with the article here, Bell. Very little is known about Bell as of yet, with only concept art and detail of its world being released. Bell takes place in U, an online universe where over 5 billion people gather to socialize and communicate. Um, while the concept art release looks incredible, what makes this film truly interesting is the talent behind it, Mamoru Hosoda. Hosoda is an incredibly prolific director in the field of Japanese anime, originally slated to direct Studio Ghibli's Howl's Moving. And we talked about this too, I believe, a few days ago. Howl's Moving Castle, after directing two Digimon short films, Hosoda went on to direct such classics as The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, Summer Wars, Wolf Children, and Academy Award nominated Mirai. Bell returns to his favorite themes of internet sci-fi as demonstrated in Digimon and Summer Wars, and is set for a Japanese release in summer 2021. My Hero Academia, third movie. He will meet the Three Musketeers. 2021 looks like a great year for My Hero Academia fans. Alongside the announcement of a fifth season, My Hero Academia's third film will be released in 2021. While information is scarce about the film as of yet, um, the film was announced alongside a teaser image stating he will um, he will meet the Three Musketeers, and the words emblazoned over the picture of Bakugo, Midoriya, and Todoroki, as we saw above there. The film looks to be handled by the same staff behind the prior two films and series, with manga creator Kohei Horikoshi supervising once again. If you are a fan of the prior My Hero Academia movies, then this will be a must watch. My Hero Academia's third film comes out in Japan in summer 2021. Let's see what you guys are saying here. And we actually did do that. Hey. Togashi had a serious hoarding problem in the past. You don't say, Solid. Would love to go I'd love to go through his trash. Laugh out loud. Let's see. Yeah, I really like those Russian walking puzzle games. They used to be $5, but then they got popular and went up to $15. Laugh out loud. My Hero Academia with a third season, so like one movie for each season. Well, yeah, I get. Yeah. Well, that's not the only franchise that's ever done that, Leto. Pokemon's done that. I think Naruto's done that. So that's not they're not the first franchise to do such a thing. It's it's been out there. Like Naruto's another one that's pretty famous for it. I think Pokemon's done kind of the same thing too. So, and I guess that goes without saying when you have when you have popular series like that. Which going on with the article here. Inuo. So as I understand it, Inu means I think dog, or so. This movie's gonna have something to do with dogs. I think Inuyo tells the story of a unique boy covered head to toe with garments and his friendship with a blind biwa player. From there, the two set out on a business venture together, ultimately learning about one another and achieving something beautiful between their two difficult circumstances. Um, Inuo is the latest film from Masaki Yuasa, the director behind Devilman Crybaby, Keep Your Hands Off Izokin. We got a story about that one today, and Japan Saints 2020. And his last film before he takes a temporary retirement, if Inuo manages to capture even half the beauty and unorthodox style of his prior anime productions, then this might be something special. Inuo is set to release sometime in 2021. Yuri on Ice, the movie, Ice Adolescence. Du, 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 du. Let's see. I just don't like my hero. Is he festooned with garments? Does he have a plethora of garments? I wonder if those garments are used to cover up something about his body because, as I understand it, the word Inu in Japanese means dog. So, never got into it either. I love JoJo though. Yuri on Ice has actually a pretty good show, good slice of life with a bit of the competitive spirit. Just ignore all the gayness, uh, and it's pretty cool. Hmm. So, ever since the ending of 2016 Yuri on Ice, fans have been clamoring for more. When a prequel film centered around the life of young Victor Nikiforov um, was announced, fans went wild. Very little has been revealed about the film, other than a teaser poster and most recently a teaser trailer released online. The hype increased when it was confirmed that the film's director was Sayo Yamamoto, the director behind both both the original Yuri on Ice as well as Michiko and Hachin and Lupin the Third, the woman called Fujiko Mine. Ice Adolescence doesn't have an official release date yet. Film has delayed every year from 2019 to 2020, but with production continuing in silence. However, with a teaser now being released, fans anticipate they will see the film sometime in 2021, when remains a mystery. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to see Yuri on Ice yet, but what I have, but when I've looked up anime songs before, I guess their opening theme is actually a pretty popular one. You know, when you make history. JoJo is freaking great. Um, Gannon fan loves JoJo. I watch her occasionally. Anyways, I'm getting ready to move on to the next article here. This is a bit of a, and I'll be right back. I got to go off camera for just a quick moment, guys. 30-minute mark already. So that was just after the first. Wow, it took me 25 minutes to get through that story. It looks like. Actually, no, because we did start at the five. Oh, let's see, or just after the 5-minute mark. So it's good if you like Peach Girl, laugh out loud, which I do. Watch her occasionally too. Not sure if I should heat up lasagna. Just eat it cold. You. Anyways, so on to the next story here. Excuse me, I gotta go off camera again. Sorry about this, guys. All right, I'm back. Back to the hands of time. Going back to win. Back to when you. Demon Slayer kills Spirited Away's long-standing Japanese box office record. It's a pretty big story here. Demon Slayer has officially become the highest-grossing film in Japan, taking the crown from Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away in the process. I know Demon Slayer is a pretty popular anime and manga as well. I've even watched it. It's pretty good. Demon Slayer, the movie, Mugen Train, has officially become the highest grossing film in Japanese box office history. Demon Slayer currently sits at 32.47 billion yen, which is equivalent, of course, to $313.9 million um, as of December 27th, which was this past Sunday. Officially overtaking, so at this point, it could be up to 35 billion yen, up over and up close to 350 million, all we know. Um, Overtaking the record held by Hayao Miyazaki's Spirited Away previously held the Japanese box office crown with 31.68 billion yen, which included a re-release in June. Demon Slayer has been smashing box office records since its release. It currently holds the biggest opening weekend gross in Japanese theaters, as well as the IMAX box office record in Japan. Several factors play into this surge of popularity, including Japanese cinemas fully reopening after a brief shutdown due to the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, with many films being pushed back to 2021 due to COVID 19. Demon Slayer also faced little competition in theaters. Several Japanese businesses have also reported a surge in sales after striking Demon Slayer themed licensing deals. Based on the manga of the same name by Koyoharu Gotoge, Demon Slayer focuses on a boy named Tanjiro, um, who joins the Demon Slayer Corps after his village is destroyed by demons. The anime has become a pop culture sensation with the Mugen Train film set during season one of the show. Mugen Train follows Tanjiro and his fellow demon slayers as they investigate the possibility of a demon passenger on a train. Gotoge wrote and illustrated a special one-shot manga that ties into the events of Mugen Train. Demon Slayer, the movie Mugen Train, arrives in the U.S. in 2021. Well, that's a pretty interesting story right there. See what you guys are saying about that. Haven't seen Demon Slayer. Might need to give it a watch. My wife made lasagna. I just ate out. Went to Rudy's and bought some brisket and turkey. Me and her can't cook with a D. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Okay, so moving on to the next. So that's the last of the stories that we didn't get to yesterday. So now for some of the newer stuff that I was able to grab today. There was something somewhere here that. Oh, this one. Keep your hands off Isokin. Okay. Keep your hands off Isokin is making mainstream TV critics pay attention to anime. Isokin is making history as the first anime to be included in both the New York Times and the New Yorker's Best Shows of the Year list. Every now and then, an anime series of such high quality and passion comes along and grabs the attention of viewers outside its primary demographic. Keep Your Hands Off Isokin is one such series, and it's making history as the first anime to be included in both the New York Times and the New Yorker's Best Shows of the Year list. By utilizing extremely likable characters, an enthusiastic tone that brightens one's mood, and a wild animation style courtesy of director Yuasa. The series is firing up the imagination of all who view it. The appeal of Isokin. Isokin's accessible premise, it backed with excellent direction and amazing animation, has earned it a spot on New York Times Best TV Shows of 2000 list. Critic James uh, Pony Ponivosic Ponivosic um, describes the series as a giddy flying robot of a story, and it's worth letting it scoop you up and rocket you away. Isokin was also the second anime to be featured on Mike Hill's Best International Shows list, a place farther than the universe, another show about girls in an eccentric high school club, made its list in 2018. Not only has Isokin been recognized by the New York Times, but the New Yorker also featured the series on its own best of the year list. Doreen St. Felix wrote, the show's visual world is zany and gorgeous, and its meditations on creative frustration brought me to tears more than once. Breaking barriers. Um, I got to go off camera just again for a quick sec. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's see what you guys have been saying at last. Oh, I guess nothing too new there. Hey, Mike, Jeremiah says hi. Jeremiah, what is he? One of the guys from the from the Facebook group or something like that? There, ATC. Oh, Oh, I remember now. Jeremiah is your son. Well, I'll tell him I said hi too. I didn't even realize that for a sec there. In other words, Twitter artists are drawing them, and New York Times wishes they made lewds of them. I don't know. Will have to wait and see. Breaking barriers. Let's see what this is about because this might kind of confirm what you're saying there. Leto, let's see. Anime is a form of entertainment that, aside from the occasional Studio Ghibli movie, is often ignored, if not flat out dismissed, by many mainstream critics. In their eyes, anime is either kid stuff or hypersexualized weirdness. The fact many mainstream anime series do fall into these two categories, no, no, I don't think so. I think think you're kind of overstating it there, buddy. Or at least appears to at a glance, lead serious TV critics to dismiss the medium simply at face value. Izoken is one of those shows that has the power to change the way anime is perceived. Rather than using um, schmaltzy um, tropes to appeal to a younger audience or creepy fan service to appease an otaku niche, the series employs mature writing and a beautifully animated style to dazzle the eyes and awaken the spirit. Well, a lot of anime does that, you nitwit. Oh man, what a nitwit here. Are you sure that you watch anime, dude? A lot of anime does that. Ding dong. Oh boy. Anyways, let's see, where are we? The series strikes a perfect balance between imagination and reality, blending the two together and creating a wholly unique experience. Exposure is also everything when it comes to getting attention outside of the anime sphere. And Isaacin had the luck of being one of the first series to be featured on HBO Max's limited selection of Crunchyroll anime. By putting the series on a mainstream TV outlet like HBO, the series can be viewed by a much wider audience, extending beyond typical otaku audience. This is a huge step in introducing anime to a much broader group of viewers. If by chance you're reading this and don't consider yourself an anime fan, please give Izoken a chance. Watch it and you'll understand what makes people love anime in the first place. Yeah. The only thing I'm critical of is with this article is that The guy I think was oversimplifying some of the rhetoric there a little bit. If he kind of corrected himself when he talked about the mature writing in Eizouken, but a lot of anime is like that. Even some that are like perceived as kids animes, or because they were on Konami, like Yu Hakusho, you had mature. If you've ever seen the uncut version of Yu Hakusho, you know there was mature themes there. My boy, yeah, he's watching the show with me. Cool. I hope he's enjoying it. Hey, Jeremiah, tell Jeremiah I said hi. Remember, I'm going to steal your Hot Wheels. Laugh out loud. Uh, got to admit, one of the things I like about anime are the boobies, though. Well, I'm well, and Leto knows. Well, every for the guys who've been around a while with me, you know that I've often talked a lot about slice of life, harem animes. Those I like a lot of those. I mean, I like a lot of the action adventure stuff too, but I really do like the. It's one of those things you do kind of wish you could step into that world and just live that life. And especially if you're not very good with the opposite sex. Movies are great. It's half the storyline sometimes. Yeah, well, that's true too. I mean, sometimes, but the way the writer made it sound, he made it sound like it's more than half the time they're let up, and that's what I was kind of getting a little irked at. He's trying to make it sound like it's more than half. I get what you're saying there, and I think that's kind of what he was saying, but he was saying it with more like it was more than half. Size of life and action is the other half. Hmm. Excuse me again, guys. Sorry. Anyways, I'm back again. So, so that's the last of the anime stories. Move on to there's a couple of comic stories that I saw that were, I think, of interest. Let's see, how are we doing on time here? Oh wow, we're at the 47 minutes. So it was a good thing I started early. Then I started at the 5 minute mark. So goody. Oh yeah, I was already here. You could always be number one. You can always be a winner. Story because the story, two stories I'm looking for are actually back to back of each other, or right next to each other on here. There we go. And I got to go off camera again real quick, guys. Sorry about this. I'll be right back. Anyways. All right, so here's the first story from the comic section we're going to look at. Future state. When does DC's new era begin? Interesting question. To kick off 2021, DC's future state will jump into the possible futures characters like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Teen Titans. While the DC universe is still dealing with the final moments of Dark Knight death metal, the many futures of the DC universe will come into shape in the upcoming DC Future State event. With a massive scope that will reach almost every corner of the DC universe, we're taking a closer look at which titles will kick off Future State throughout January 2021. January 5th. From the creative team of John Ridley and Nick Darrington, Future State, the next Batman, #1, leads the pack of January's releases. The mayor has enlisted a private law enforcement group called the Magistrate to patrol and police Gotham streets. And that itself has helped to bring a new Dark Knight out of the shadows. Featuring backup stories, Outsiders by Brandon Thomas and Sumit Kumar, as well as Arkham Knights by Paul Jenkins and Jackson Herbert. Coming from Stephanie Phillips and Simone DeMeo, Future State Harley Quinn #1 sees the titular character imprisoned by the magistrate and in the cruel clutches of the Scarecrow. Unfortunately for them, Harley isn't nearly as broken or helpless as her captives think. Future State The Flash #1 by Brandon Vietti and Dale Eaglesham sees Barry Allen and the other Flashes facing off against a twisted and possessed Wally West without their powers. Up against his protege, as well as an ancient evil, Barry can only turn to the weapons of his most remarkable foes for any hope of saving the day. Sounds like an interesting story there. In Future State Wonder Woman #1, a new Wonder Woman has emerged and she's headed straight to the underworld to rescue one of her fellow Themyscirians from the clutches of Hades. Written and illustrated by Joelle Jones, Future State Wonder Woman #1 introduces Yara Flor to readers and showcases the new Wonder Woman before she starts her own CW series. In Future State Superman of Metropolis, Jonathan Kent has taken up his father's mantle and he's about to make a decision in a fight against Brainiac. Jonathan Kent. Wow, I guess there's another Jonathan Kent, I guess, that they introduced. Uh, that puts him directly in the path of Supergirl's ire. The title features the backup stories The Guardian by Sean Lewis and Cully Hammer, and Mr. Miracle by Brandon Easton and Valentine Delandro. And of course, The Guardian has always had a very interesting story, history in the DC universe, in Metropolis in particular. I think debuting in can't remember the Star Spangled Comics back in the 40s there as part of the Newsboys Legion. So finally, Ram V and Mike Perkins' Future State Swamp Thing sees the Green choose a new avatar, one who is no stranger to incredible violence, and who is more than willing to use it to give humanity the war it seems so desperately to want. See what you guys have to say or here. See if anything new is coming. Couple things looks like. Let's see. After that, Jeremiah said, "Guys," and he said, "No, you're not, because you're a booty booty hole." Let oh man. Let's pray for DC. They need some milk. What, from getting ulcers? Excuse me one more time, guys. Sorry about this. All right, I'm back. January 12th. From Mariko Tamaki and Dan Moore, a future state dark detective follows Bruce Wayne's crusade against the magistrate. As the original Dark Knight runs for his life, now that he has nothing left to lose, pushing Batman to his breaking point could be the worst decision anyone has ever made. This issue features the backup Grifter by Matthew Rosenberg and Carmine Di Giandomenico. In Future State Green Lantern, John Stewart and an elite Green Lantern team have been tasked with mapping space beyond the 3,600 known sectors and are caught in the dark when the central power battery goes out entirely. By Jeffrey Thorne and Tom Rainey, this title features the backup stories The Book of Guy by Ernie Altbacker and Clayton Henry, as well as The Taking Sector 123 by Ryan Cady and Sammy Basri. With Future State Justice League, a new generation of Justice League is upon the DC universe, and they've got plenty of secrets to keep from one another while uncovering the ones that have framed the team for murder. Written by Joshua Williamson, um, with art by Robson Roca and Daniel Henriques. The title features a Justice League Dark backup by Randy and Marcio Takara. In Future State Teen Titans, Tim Sheridan and Rafa Sandoval um, are about to introduce readers to the most devastating version of the Teen Titans yet. Years after opening their doors to a new generation of young heroes, the original team reunites at Titan's Towers to face off against the incredible evil that turned their former home into a monument to death. This title also features the first mainstream comic book appearance of Red X, who previously was only seen in the animated series. So there's another one where the DCAU gets kind of the crossover there. You know, of course, we have characters such as Harley Quinn, probably most famously, um, Livewire, and Renee Montoya, who came from the DCAU into the mainstream DC universe. And now Red X is, well, even though I don't know if that Teen Titans series is technically a part of the original DCAU, but kind of get it. From Marguerite Bennett and Marguerite Sauvage comes Kara Zor-El Superwoman, which follows the adventures of this grown-up Supergirl. This newly renamed heroine will be busy keeping an eye on intergalactic refugees who have come to call Earth's moon their new home. Written by Megan Fitzmartin and with art by Eddie Barrows, Future State Robin Eternal will find Tim Drake trying to stop the magistrate from using a shipment of Lazarus resin to extend their tyrannical grip on Gotham indefinitely. Tim might have Spoiler by his side during the daring heist, but the tension between the two could spell disaster before the magistrate does that for them. Um, yeah, Lazarus resin. What I believe they might be talking about is the stuff that's found in the Lazarus pits that Ra's al Ghul would use to um, keep himself immortal, basically. Um, Oftentimes, if depending upon your psyche and stuff like that, if you bathe in that stuff, it could extend your life, but at the cost of your psyche. So just bear in mind if you happen to come upon any Lazarus pits and you're considering jumping in. As the DC universe enters a new era, its survival is threatened by a contest of strength between two belligerent gods that Superman and Wonder Woman are going to have to put a stop to in future state. Superman, Wonder Woman, assuming they can work together long enough to make that happen in a series by Dan Waters and Leila Del Duca. January 19th. See how we're doing on time here because a couple of these. Of course, I started a little bit earlier, so wow, we're already past the 1 hour mark. Already past the 1 hour mark. I got two more stories after this. Let's see. So 20 minutes in the toaster over oven at 350 didn't cut it. 10 more minutes at 400 should get it. Booty hole. Dang. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Kid got me. Yeah, got punked by the kid. Hey, hey, just got home. Going to smoke with a neighbor and a friend. Be listening for a bit. Well, we're in the midst of talking about DC Future State. So, evening, gentlemen. Evening there, anonymity. Hey, anonymity. Anon, good to see you. Enjoy the smoke. I'm super baked. If I have any more, I'll forget about the lasagna. Mmm, lasagna. Anon was that EBS stream a fun one, kind of old school fun. Question: Is is whole who's baked more, that goat or the lasagna? Laugh out loud. I love Uncle EBS's streams. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it felt relaxed. Rich is where Rich is rare with the bad behind chat he has. You're killing it, Mike. Well, I'm getting to these stories as quickly as I can there, Batgoat. Ha ha ha, it's only a few rabble rousers, but even they are just joking most of the time. Ha ha ha. All right, so let's. Well, we're back down to six now. Well, that's sucks, but I liked having 7 people there for a while. So, anyways, on to the next part of the article here. Future State Immortal Wonder Woman by Michael W. Conrad, Becky Kluman, and Jen Bartel sees Diana Prince and the few friends she has left facing off against a threat that not even Darkseid can hold his own against in the far future. The title includes the backup story Nubia by L.L. McKinney, Aletha Martinez, and Mark Morales. Um, yeah, I wonder, I wonder what some of these writers would think if, well, don't know how many of them actually know that Wonder Woman's creator, William Moulton Marston's, was a bondage fetishist who incorporated his fetishism into his stories. I wonder how many of them know that one. CGers are brutal, dude. If you don't know people in that chat, it's best to be laugh out loud, no joke. That's that is expert level chat. Of course, they are funny as he double hockey sticks. Incorporating fetishes, you got my attention. Yeah, well, it's true, Leto. Guy who originally created Wonder Woman is also one. Okay, his name is William Moulton Marston. He was married and also had a live-in girl as well. And so in many of the, and this is one of the things that actually ended up leading to the Comics Code Authority was basically he became a bondage fetishist due to their influence. In fact, it was his wife and other girlfriend who introduced him to Margaret Mead. You know, but this guy was famous. William Moulton Marston was famous for two things. One was creating Wonder Woman. The other was inventing the lie detector. Those are the two things. This guy was I think a psychiatry professor, something like that, a psychiatrist, something like that. And he basically created Wonder Woman and the lie detector, and he was a bondage fetishist. And if you go back and we probably will get to those stories at some point in the historical retrospect. But he was a bondage fetishist, and he incorporated some of that into the early Wonder Woman stories, which of course was one of the things that led to the Commons Code Authority. They have Jabba, the coach, leading. Ha ha ha. Jabba kills me at that goat. How are EVS chats compared to Raging Golden Eagles? Chokeout is funny too. Captain Chokeout and Witten remix. All it takes is one is struck in my head. These guys are these guys are genius. Laugh out loud. I've only been to a few RGE chats. I usually see him showing up to flashes on Saturday, or bombs in, or he bombs into Tug. His chat seems cool, fired up. Um, Explains the lasso of truth. Yes, it does, Leto. Yes, it does. As I recall, one of the, I guess, catchphrases of that, or one of the, I guess, key themes that, or the ideas that they tried to push in those golden age Wonder Woman stories was basically being embraced in loving submission. Uh, RGE raids are never quiet, laugh out loud, but they're cool. RGE, Flash, and Deadwood Dale are all within a few octaves of each other. uh, Anyways, to continue on with the article here. Let's see. Wow, we're already at, and I may once again have to like. Well, let's see. Got two stories that I may be able to get to them, or I may pull them off till tomorrow night. We'll have to wait and see. A couple of these stories really went longer than usually. These CBR stories don't go too long, but I hit upon some real lengthy ones here. So, anyways, back to the article here. From Ramvid Otto and Otto Schmidt, future state Catwoman is in the same boat as the rest of Gotham's mass vigilantes, who have been branded as enemies of Gotham. Luckily, Selina has a new suit, her trusty strays, and an incredible protege to help her pull off what might be the most daring heist of her career. And without the original Dark Knight flying through Gotham, Future State Nightwing takes on the task of keeping the city safe, a mission that will bring him to Arkham Asylum and face to face with the newest Cape Crusader in a story by Andrew Constant and Nicola Scott. Philip Kennedy Johnson and Michael Jamin's Future State Superman Worlds of War One shines a spotlight the Man of Steel as he faces off against Mongol in the pits of War World. This title also includes the backup stories Midnighter by Michael W. Conrad and Becky Cloonan, Black Racer by Jeremy Adams and Sia Ohm, and Mr. Miracle by Brandon Easton and Valentino. So Mr. Miracle is being a backup feature in two, two titles. Huh? That's interesting. From Tim Sheridan and Eduardo Pensica comes the return of Billy Batson in Future State Shazam. Billy has been missing for years after an epic battle set several years after Future State Teen Titans Future State Shazam is about to unveil a horrifying truth about what happened to Billy after an epic battle and who's wielding the power of Earth's mightiest mortal. With Future State, the next Batman #2, the new Dark Knight has found themselves in the red zone while investigating a duo of killers who have been stalking Gotham's alleys, all while the threat of the magistrate bears down even harder than before. Written by John Ridley with art by Laura Braga, this book also includes backup stories Batgirls by Vida Ayala and Aniki, as well as Gotham City Sirens by Paula Sevenbergen and Emunella Lupacino. January 26th. Written by Brandon Thomas and illustrated by Daniel Samper, Future State Aquaman brings readers the story of an adult Jackson Hyde, the newest Aquaman, as well as the newest mentor to Andy Curry, daughter of author and Mara. The two are about to take a trip to worlds they never expected to visit. Aquaman searches for the daughter of his former mentor. When Superman is called in by Bruce to help him in the fight against the magistrate in Jean Luen Yang and Ben Oliver's future state, Batman Superman Man of Steel finds himself flying right into a trap and at the mercy of Professor Pig, armed with a shiny new kryptonite scalpel. In future state Legion of Superheroes, Brian Michael Bendis and Riley Rossano tell the story of a future where the Legion is no more. And it's on Ultra Boy to try and put the team back together, as well as discover the fate of teammates Shadow Lass, Triplicate Girl, Bouncing Boy, and fan favorite Brainiac 5. In Future State Suicide Squad, Robbie Thompson and Javi Fernandez bring the Suicide Squad back at the behest of Amanda Waller to help her reshape the world in her own image. And they're going to have to turn on her to save it all over again when they're done. This comic features the backup story Black Adam by Jeremy Adams and Fernando Pasarin. Black Adam of Shazam, Captain Marvel fame. Um, in Future State, Superman versus Imperious Lex, Mark Russell and Steve Pugh introduce readers to Lexor, the utopian home of Lex Luthor. Well, okay, this may be a new generation seeing Lexor, but this is not Lexor's debut. The planet Lexor was actually part of Silver Age continuity, Earth One continuity back in the Silver Age. Still serving as, of course, still serving as Luthor's planet, of course. I want a superhero woman who has the power to duplicate herself and also has an OnlyFans. Well, Triplicate Girl can actually duplicate herself into three parts, three three entities. So let's see. One which he is ready to share with the rest of the United Planets. Of course, Lex Luthor has never done anything without some personal gain attached to it, prompting Lois Lane and Superman to figure out just what the Man of Steel's most treacherous nemesis is planning. The last week of January also sees the release of Mariko Tamaki and Dan Mora's Future State Dark Detective #2, um, which follows the original Dark Knight as he tries to solve the murder of Bruce Wayne while on the run. I guess while on the run, even though they put one here, from the magistrate. This issue includes a backup Red Hood story, Joshua Williamson and by Joshua Williamson and Giannis Milano Giannis. Okay, so that was a mouthful. I got to go off camera for just a quick moment. I'll be right back. don't think that. Anyways, all right. So on to the next story then, which is the one right above one I just read, of course. Here we go. And I know this one's been talked. I know this story, not this specific story, but Wonder Woman 1984 has been talked about quite a bit. I know Flash himself has um, done how Wonder Woman 1984 is tied to the most perverse and disturbing superhero story. Okay, let's see what this has to say. It tells me this is going to be a SJW cry fest. Um, a big part of Wonder Woman 1984 was at the center of an infamous story in one of DC's most acclaimed comic book series. I'm sorry, I got to go off camera again, guys, real quick here. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Anyway, so back to this article here. Warning: the following contains spoilers. Oh, okay. Never mind then. I didn't realize this would have spoilers, so we're not going to read this one. I won't read spoilers. Sorry, guys. So I guess we're almost done. Then we just have one more story to hit. Um, back up to 7 people. So yeah. So this is the last main story of the night that I'll cover here. Uh, Brody Lee, AEW wrestler Brody Lee, dies at 41. His real name's John Huber, of course. Brody Lee it was the name he used. AEW guy is also known as Luke Harper in the WWF. So go through this article. Okay, let's see. I want a superhero from the 80s, red boy with the power to be tubular. He'd be chilly and fresh. Okay, and sounds cool. Okay, so anyways, on to this last story here. Um, AW wrestler Brody Lee dies at 41. AW, which is all for those of you who don't know, AW stands for All Elite Wrestling. That's a promotion that is actually um, Tony Khan is the owner of it, and then also Cody Rhodes, son of the late Dusty Rhodes and brother of Dustin, as well as um, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson and Kenny Omega. These guys are the guys who basically are charge of AEW. Chris Jericho's there as one of the guys, and then some of the agents or what they call coaches there include Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, um, you know, Billy Gunn, aka well, real name Kip Stop, but you know. But anyway, so anyways, to this story then. AW has announced that John Huber, a wrestler who used the stage name Brody Lee, who used the stage names Brody Lee and Luke Harper, has passed away due to a lung condition. John Huber, who wrestled for AEW under the stage name Brody Lee, has died at the age of 41. AEW's official Twitter account posted to announce the news, saying, "The All Elite Wrestling family is heartbroken. In an industry filled with good people, John Huber was exceptionally respected and beloved in every way. A fierce and captivating talent, a thoughtful mentor, and simply a very kind soul that starkly contradicted his persona as Mr. Brody Lee." And here's and again, in All Elite Wrestling, he was Brody Lee. In WWE, he was known as Luke Harper, part of the Wyatt family. We talked about the Wyatt family before; they were big back in 2015. You've seen a lot of. I've had a lot of history stuff on that. R.I.P. Brody. The tribute included the image of Huber and the dates of his lifetime, 1979 to 2020, as well as the hashtag at RIP Brody Lee. It went on to offer condolences to Huber's wife, Amanda, and his children, Brody and Nolan, and to describe his friendships within the world of wrestling and the achievements of his career, closing with, "We were privileged at AEW to call John Huber a brother and a friend, and one of our own." In addition to his career in AEW, Huber also wrestled for the WWE under the name Luke Harper. It was revealed by Huber's wife on her Instagram that his death was due to a non COVID related lung condition. "I never wanted to write out those words," Amanda Huber wrote. "My heart is broken. The world saw him as the amazing Brody Lee, FKA, I guess, formerly known as Luke Harper, but he was my best friend, my husband, and the greatest father you would ever meet." I think every wife, I think just about every wife in a very successful marriage would say that about her husband, right? Right, Leto, right, ATC. Very sad, RIP. Yeah. And then there was another article, I guess a follow up article. Maybe I'll read that one too, because that one will probably go a little bit quick. There was another article just after that in regards to, I guess, some plans. I guess I'll read this one too, just because it is kind of connected to the other. AW Dynamite, which is their weekly television show, to celebrate the life of John Huber, aka Brody Lee. AEW president Tony Khan revealed the next episode of AEW Dynamite will include tributes and special matches dedicated to John Huber, aka Brody Lee. Tony Khan, president and CEO of AEW, announced that the December 30th episode of AEW Dynamite, um, which is tomorrow, and I believe that's on TNT, will be a tribute episode dedicated to the life of John Huber, aka Brody Lee. Khan posted the following message on Twitter: This Wednesday on hashtag AEW Dynamite, we'll celebrate the life of John Huber, parentheses Mr. Brody Lee, with a show including tributes and a special card of matches dedicated to the Exalted One. That night is intended to honor John, but also this is for Amanda and their sons Brody -1 and Nolan. Um, and there's a copy of the tweet right there. A special episode of AEW Dynamite will include tributes and a selection of matches dedicated to Huber, who led the Dark Order faction as its exalted one. AEW's official Twitter account announced on the evening of December 27th, which was Sunday, that Lee, who also performed under the ring name of Luke Harper in the WWE, had died at the age of 41. The All Elite Wrestling family is heartbroken. The tweet read, in an industry filled with good people, John Huber was exceptionally respected and beloved in every way. A fierce and captivating talent, a thoughtful mentor. And I know we read that already, but yeah, because that was in the other thing too earlier. Huber's wife revealed, okay, and we read that part too. So, yeah. So basically, they're planning a tribute show. Um, and that's really all of the main stories tonight. So let's see. We went right up to an hour and a half. So wow, got through 6 stories there. Pretty. The last two were pretty quick, but some of those are pretty lengthy. I have an ex-wife. Don't ask me. Yeah, we won't. Again, and I think I did clarify. I said successful marriages back out. That's why I pointed to Leto and ATC there. Did Pablo Hidalgo insult any of the people who expressed sadness? I don't know. I don't even know who Pablo Hidalgo is. I know of Richard Hidalgo, the former Major League Baseball outfielder, but I don't know of Pablo Hidalgo. Wow, we've had 7 people for a good portion of the stream tonight. That's great. I'm glad for those who haven't been, chatting it up as much. I hope you felt welcome, and I hope you like the information that we've, had for you tonight. And I do appreciate all the likes and shares. Seeing if we can get more people in, of course. Um, let's see now. Drunk 3PO has some vids, among other people. Got to check out newest ones. Wow, we're up to 8 people now. Wow, 8 people. Yay, 8 people. Thank you for coming in. And he made a boo boo on Twitter for insulting a true Star Wars fan. Ah, okay. No wonder. I don't have a Twitter. I haven't had a Twitter, I think, for the last couple of years, and I'm grateful for it. Hidalgo and half of Lucasfilm are garbage humans. Okay, we're back down to 7 people now. Quality over quantity. One day, Mike. Someday, ooh, someday, boy, you're gonna make it big. Little Mariah Carey right there. Back in the night, garbage. Well, Twitter's garbage, right? A Star Wars fan who used to get through chemo, among other things. I found out by watching Flash and Clownfish videos. Yeah, I haven't. I'm subscribed to so many people. I haven't kept up as much of late, but only because I've been like doing my own thing too a lot of the time. So yeah, this has been a good stream. We've had a good conversation going right from the beginning, and I thank everybody for being here. I thank Leto and um and Solid for being here early tonight. And you guys know you can always come in early and hang out before I go live. That's cool too. I don't have a problem with you guys doing that, but I would love it if you guys do that. At least in that way we get things going. We're not going quite as cold from the get go. So yikes. Yep, Luke is his childhood hero. Yeah, I saw theirs too. Drunk just released a new one saying about other employees still putting down pens. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Excuse me a sec. I go off camera again. Anyways, let's see now. So we got at least DC jerks are losing their jobs. Yeah, and we read an art. I know you weren't here last night, Becca, but we read an article where we did talk about EBS announcing a situation here in California where there's a retailer in Anaheim that's not going to stock any new DC titles due to the whole thing going on with Diamond distributors. So they have no sympathy. Could you I again 5 years if socialism hasn't taken over? Hope everyone look back at all this garbage. Imagine if Marvel sold off its failing comic book business. We will just gotta watch each other's back. Be cool. We'll get through this. They can't reap. They're so fast enough. Hmm. Yeah. So wow. So we're past the hour and a half mark, guys. I think I'm gonna start wrapping up here. Are you guys ready for this day in Nietzsche history? I thank you guys again for joining me tonight. Um, Leto and Solid, I thank you guys for getting in early. Let's see now. Yeah, okay. It's just taking a little time for it to process through, I guess. Yeah, okay. Time flies. Yes, it does, especially when you get into some interesting stories there. Nietzsche it up. Nietzsche me up. Yay! History. Start wrapping it up. Wrapping up. Ready. Yeah. Um, only got a couple because I was a little late myself tonight, so I only have a couple of things here to go through. So we'll be pretty quick about this. So, anyways, without no further ado, hey Woody, let's see, Leto and Solid got stars tonight. Yeah. Hey Woody, And I know that ATC's been in early before too. So, guys, another reminder, just let you know, you can always come in a little early and hang out, and just warm things up. Um, and I'd appreciate that too. That way, have some people in and getting ready where I can even start the stories a little earlier. Okay, so without no further ado, let's today being Tuesday, December 29th, 2020, let's take a look back on this day in Nietzsche history. So, what's happened on this date in Nietzsche history? Yeah, it looks like there's no laugh out loud. I'm only early today because I'm always late the other days. Laugh out loud. Ah, so it balances out, right? Anyways, okay, so here we go. So on this date, back in 1980, the first WWF promoted card from New York City's Madison Square Garden airs on USA Network, marking the beginning of a long-standing relationship between what is now the WWE and the USA Network. At this point, however, USA would air wrestling almost always the WWF on an occasional basis until 1983. So basically, what they're saying here is that on this date, 40 years ago today, was the first WWF broadcast on USA Network, which would eventually become the home to what is now known as WWE Monday Night Raw. Started back in 1993, January 11th, 1993, as I recall. So you got two pieces of history right there for the price of one. So on this date, 40 years ago, the first Madison Square Garden WWE show was aired on. Okay, the first USA airing of a WWF show happened on this date in 1980, 40 years ago. So, yes, sir. So, with that being said, um, on this date, as I said, 40 years ago, WWF began its relationship with USA Network. And finally, the final bit of history for tonight. On this day in 1999, 21 years ago today, the 155th issue of Laugh Comics Digest magazine went on sale from Archie Comics. Archie Comics released the 155th issue of Laugh Comics Digest magazine on this date in 1999, 21 years ago. It was 96 pages and sold for cover price was $1.99. Actually, for that many pages, it sounds, at least for the time period and stuff like that, sounds like a pretty good price. So that's pretty much all that all I was able to find on this day in Nietzsche history. Um, so with that, guys, I thank you guys again for joining me tonight. Um, Programming notes for the rest of the week. Tomorrow night will be, of course, I'll look up more news stories to report on. Report on in the world of Nietzsche, and then of course do this day in Nietzsche history, and then Thursday and Friday this week we're doing the same thing we did last week. I'll open up the studio. Anybody who wants to join me can come in. We can hang out and talk Nietzsche, for a couple hours there, and that'll be that. So that's for the rest of this week, and then of course next week we'll get back to next Friday the 8th. We'll get back to, of course, with Bat Goat, doing the comic historical retrospect. So let's see what we here. Yeah, $1.99 for some laughs nowadays is free, just open Twitter. Nowadays, it's just free. Later, then. Hmm. See you all tomorrow. See you all tomorrow. Most likely late since I work. Oh, you're working before the stream? I thought you usually work after the stream or on your way to it. I look forward to it. All right. Well, guys, I shall. I bid you good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye.